we're going to be factoring these trinomials that happen to have a common factor. Now, these examples are nice because it has the heading, but you just basically need to be able to recognize, like, oh man, it's in a certain form and they have a certain factor that you can take out of it. So notice that these all have a common factor of 2m. There's a factor of 2m, so I'm going to take out a 2m, and I'm left with 2m squared plus m minus 3. So 2m times 2m squared plus m minus 3. So if I multiply this back through, 2m times 2m squared is 4m cubed, 2m times m is 2m squared, and 2m times negative 3 is a negative 6m. Then we're good. All right. And so now notice that this is in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c, where a is greater than 0. So you can do the whole diamond thing where you multiply 2 and negative 3, which you get negative 6, and then like a 1 on the bottom. You can do that. But I'm going to do just straight into the guess and check method. I kind of like that. It actually is a little faster, plus it's small numbers, so we can get it pretty quickly. So I know that my answer is going to have 2 binomials, and I know that my first term has to give me 2m squared, and I know that my second term, or when I multiply these two guys, that has to give me negative 3. So let's just go ahead and put in some guesses right there. So the only way to get 2m squared is 2m and m, and the only way to get 3 is 1 and 3, or 3 and 1. And so I'm going to put 3 and 1. And so if I multiply 3 times m, I get 3m. If I multiply 2m and m, I get 2m. How do I get m out of 3m and 2m? Well, I would want to subtract 2m, or 3m minus 2m. So I want the 3m to be positive, so put plus right there, and I want the 2m to be negative. And so the answer, without all the whole color stuff in there, is 2m times 2m plus 3 times m minus 1. Cool. Coming up here, again, these have a common factor of, let's see, 3y, right? They each have a 3y in common. So we take that out, we get 4y squared plus 11y minus 3. And what I do want you to notice is that anytime you factor out a GCF, you should never have a common factor inside the parentheses. Never, 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 never. All right? And so I'm going to just do my little shortcut here. So 3y times something. And let's see. These two must give me 4y squared. So I'm going to just try 2y and 2y. And then these two must give me negative 3. So I'm just going to try 3 and 1. Notice that I don't put any plus or minuses yet. Like, I just multiply these and see what happens. If I multiply 3 and 2y, I get 6y. If I multiply 2y and 1, I get 2y. Is it possible to get 11 out of 6 and 2? Like if I add them? Well, no, right? So I know that that's not going to be the answer right there. So I'm just going to switch 3 and 1, and let's just see what happens there. So now I'm going to put 1 and 3. So now I get 2y, and 3. I get 6y, and so now I still can't get that. So since that doesn't work, I know that 3 and 1 is the only possibility. So the other thing I could do is make 4y. Instead of it making it 2y and 2y, I could just make it 4y and y. 1 times y is y. 4y times 3 is 12y. So that for sure is going to give us 11. And the way that I could do that is this y has to be negative. So that means I'm going to make that a negative 1. And this 12y has to be positive. And that would do it for me right here.